Okay, hello there, I'm Dennis. Welcome to my channel, Life Home and My Linux Journeys. And in this video, we're going to get Diamond Linux-TT. Based on Debian, country of origin is in Germany, and it only has the one available desktop, KDE or Plasma by KDE, however that is said. And so we're going to take a look at that and go ahead and go to my desktop up there. Homepage, linux-tt.com. Here's where you'll come to get your download and read a little bit about it. Here you got several links up here, downloads, knowledge base, help and forum. Click on downloads here, click on the current download, start take you to SourceForge and you can download it from there. Speaking of SourceForge, this is the sourceforge.net Diamond Linux TT SourceForge page. Tells you a little bit more about them. Add-ons is the Chromium browser, codecs, RAR and UNRAR, etc. Configuration wizard is in the advanced folder. So we're going to take a look at some of that here. This is, best I can tell, this is their first, the wiki, this is their first response post 8/11 in 2017. So what is that? 6 years now. Includes something called Torvalds top. I didn't know what that was. Come to find out, it's top expletives from Linus Torvald rants. which you know, whatever. So let's bring it up. Let's set it up in virtual machine, Vert Manager. Let's say that we're going to install from a local media. Forward. I'm going to choose this. Browse. Go to my downloads. Linux TT volume. Here I'm going to untick the automatically and I'm going to start typing in Debian. Debian 12 is here. Forward. Give it 4 gigs of RAM. Cores of the processor, that's perfect. Give it 50. Hard drive. Forward. Customize configuration before the install because I want to boot into, I want to select UEFI mode. I can change that right there now to Diamond box. Right here under firmware, select UEFI. Okay. Got to save that before I went to tab. Operating system is based on Debian 12. So let's begin the installation. Okay, so it booted right up. I didn't do anything. UEFI mode. Maybe in a real hardware something. But one of the things it says here is it's going to boot right up into the live environment, but the installer is going to start right away. Calamaris installer, start right away. Go here and see if we can find display. All right, instead of that, let's get into the installation. Calamaris installer. Should be just a few clicks to get installed. Change that. Right. You need to change the language for the locale. You can do that here, but right now it's set for American English, Chicago time zone. Next, check the keyboard. Works. Next, manually partition. Let's see what it would do otherwise. No option. Swap. And manually partitions. Next, give it a new partition table so it'll recognize the disk. Normally I would create a root partition and a home partition, C and D drive, so to speak, for root partition and data drive. But I'm going to leave it just like that. Now here, like I said, normally you'd see the drive remainder of that drive busted into 2 partitions. I'm good here. Give it our name. Give it a password. Not going to log in automatically. Good. Here's a summary of what it's going to do. Toggle that. It's a shame. And there's no other cards. Anyway, installation takes place in a few clicks. I guess it was, what, 5 clicks and typing my name and a password. There's 2 virtual desktops. Now, I'm only assuming this has got open box behind it. Sure, may see. There are no necessary notifications about updates. So when the system's installed, shouldn't get any necessary notifications about updates. It'll be up to us to update. Menu, the start menu, meta package. All necessary tools are concentrated in one place to get started without much knowledge and problems. And we're going to look for the administration tab here. Here you can see you can manage accounts. You got an accounts manager, auto mount features, mount hard drives. Apparently it's got a firewall manager. We'll see what that is. To add another language keyboard input device, so it's easy to change your keyboard if you move to another country or give it to somebody that lives in another country. To configure the fastest repositories, sources, download from others, select best server. If I want to update, system update manager, a Windows style task manager. Deployment tab, drivers and applications, add-ons, Nvidia, HP, etc. First time when you start Chrome web browser, it's going to ask you to make up your mind whether you want it to be your default browser or another browser. Search and install all kinds of applications. You must use the software center. Saying must use, so don't use a terminal. You can also update the system in the center. So they're saying don't use the terminal, only use the GUI. Apparently it comes with this USB ISO image flasher. Nice. Shell tabs, Office and web. So we'll see what single click selects them. Nice. I'm a fan of Diamond Linux TT now. Okay, so I'm going to probably pause the video, let this finish get installing before we look around in it. I do have some my own notes that I've took off of their websites. And I also am going to include this YouTube link in the description below, because I did a video on Diamond Linux TT about 2 years ago. And in that video, I covered extensively stuff that was in their start menu and was installed by default. And I'm not going to cover all of that like I did last time. So if you want to see, if you have a question about what's in here, you can welcome to look at my old video. Diamond Linux TT, OSDN.net. There's something wrong with this link. I can't get it to open right away. It takes forever to open, and when it does, you can see other movement that's happening and doesn't seem to be loading right. The Windows style Linux OS operates system in 15 minutes. Linux without special knowledge or skills. Free operating system for home and office use. Free OS based on Debian and other open source software. Now this all come off of their Linux LTT website. This release was on August the 14th. Today's the 25th, so a couple of weeks ago. Torvalds Top is the name of the system. Build date here was June the 2020. Say it one more time. 2023. Generation is 6. The installer is done. Let me minimize this. This done. Work Manager may just bypass the ISO, but probably not. Okay, it's going to remove it. Have boot. by stub, secure boot enabled. Login screen. Our options: plasma, X11, no. There it is. That would be power. There it is. Restart maybe. That's the only options I see on the desktop. Let's log in. We're on the login screen. Thought I could size it. There we go. Nice. Let's see what we got in the menu. This is Diamond TT. Let's give Control Alt T will bring up a terminal. Plasma, it should be the console. Yes. Let's see if NeoFetch is installed by default. Not. Let's see if HTOP is installed by default. Not. Kernel we do have the standard default kernel of 6.1.0 AMD64. See. Debian, codename Bookworm, Debian. Not a lot of branding from Diamond Linux TT. So let's go under administration. First of all, I like the way the menu is set up. Under administration, we have the two things I just read about, Account Manager. Here you can add users, configure them. Then it's groups. Nice. P, CD-ROM, floppy, sudoers group, audio, video, plug devices, net devices, Bluetooth, Samba share, LP admin, and scanner. That's not a bad selection of groups to be in. And so this is where you would do it, and I think you can change and ask to go back into where it just logs in automatically here. Pretty sure. Back to their menu, administration, we have the Automount Manager. Mount all the own devices. Okay. That's a nice feature. Firewall Manager. See what get a password. Sometimes those dots help you. BUFW. Graphical uncomplicated firewall. And it's on by default. That's a nice feature. Input Devices Manager. Showing CD-ROM, a keyboard if you want to change any of your keyboard settings. Sources Manager. Let's see what sources. Non-free dependency contrib. Non-DFSG compatible firmware. Source code. Download from the main server. Software. So you can enable ports. Application. Developer option. Okay, that's nice. Have that as a option to change it. Task Manager. Windows like Task Manager. Feature version 1.x.x. Color customizations, hide or show devices, bug fixes, and small visual improvement. Performance. That looks a lot like the Task Manager. Show logical. So on Windows you can I think you right click, select show logical processors. Shows you all your cores. Here we should be seeing 2. Memory, we're using 1.1 gigabytes. That's actually pretty high considering doing anything, and it is plasma. Sysmon task, system monitor task. Looks like Windows like Task Manager. Looks a little, yeah, I give them that. I'll have to ask Dave over at his garage one day. Okay, did I see Tor right there? Favorites, Onion repository. That's a privacy feature for a web browser. So you can web to browse anonymously. Drivers and applications. Needed a driver. This probably might to it. Go drivers. Wow. This is like Windows setup. This is pretty nice. TI, Nvidia, and GPU info. Atmos compatible controller. Nice. I get there. Pretty nice. Operation, deployment, drivers and applications. That's a nice category, a nice touch. Diamond Linux TT is well polished, just like a diamond. The drives formatting utility, that's GNOME disk. And it's based on Debian, so you're going to expect a little older, possibly, software. If you're okay with that, then that's Debian's for you. It's solid. And if this is based on Debian, I can't imagine it's anything but solid. System Update Manager. Let me look around in there, did it? USB formatter. USB multi-writer. Using GNOME disk. That's for writing more than one at a time, I believe. It works for a single one. That's pretty nice. Software Center. Software Center. Category called Shell. Deep in Terminal. Dolphin File Manager. Console. Crusader. File Manager. Crusader is root. Midnight Commander. Another nice file manager. BYOBU Terminal. This is a pretty nice category. They've done some work in here. Graphics, we got GIMP, WinView, Spectacle, and Xane. GIMP, the editor, editing features. WinView for looking at webcam. Spectacle, a screenshot utility for taking screenshots. This is for a scanner. Internet, we have Firefox, but not Chromium. It's Chromium. So under Internet, we got Firefox ESR, that's the extended support release. QBitTorrent, another nice addition choice. Core web browser for unanimous getting web browsing. WhatsApp app. WhatsApp. Multimedia, we got K3B for disk burning. That's a surprising option. I like it. This QMMP kind of reminds you, it looks a little bit like Winamp. Kicks the llama's butt. VLC Media. Got some codecs come in with that. Under Office, we got KCalc, KWrite, LibreOffice Base, LibreOffice Calc, and Writer, and Ocular Document, PDFs. Office Web. Now, this is web apps right here that already installed, and all you got to do is open them up, direct them. Debbie Package Installer, Debbie Grub Customizer, Info Center, version 5.7.5, framework 5.103, P version 5.15, kernel 6.6.10. All this right. X11, what are inches called? Search. Application. So it tells you not to install anything. Use the store. Install Inksheet. Plus, it was up to date. Graphics. X11, X-Wayland support. So X-Wayland support allows software that requires Wayland to work with X11. Pretty nice. Applications found. Home project software. I started saying that a while ago. I remembered this was KDE Plasma, so I wasn't sure what they called it. Under utilities, we got archiving tool. We got GNOME disk emoji selector, file light, determine where all your got a full system and you want to find out where all of it's at. This will show you. Advanced K-Cal. All this in here again. That commander. Okay, well that's their menu. See what was in the notes that I wanted to make sure we touched on. Seen the administrator tab, accounts manager. The firewall was enabled by default using GUFW. Nice. The keyboard, we saw that. Mirrors, I didn't select that. We are in a virtual box. My mirrors are already set in Fedora, so it's going to be basically using those. It's going to be using my internet anyway. Windows Style Task Manager, you got to give them that. Under the Deployment tab, we got drivers and applications. Saw that. Look for drivers if you needed them. That was actually pretty awesome. To search and install various kinds of applications, you must use the Software Center. Didn't show INCI. Did see the ISO image writer, Flasher program. Shell tab, we saw that. Office tab, that's referring to the tab right here. We got Dolphin File Manager, which is a decent file manager. Dolphin 22.12. So I guess that's going to do it for our look around. We looked through the menu, we installed it. Does it power off? Yeah. Pretty sure I covered all his notes. Got that. Okay. Go back here with this, and so that's Diamond Linux TT. Not a whole lot of information online about them. At least I wasn't able to uncover a lot about them. I was grateful that the guy sent me the checklist, covered some things that I possibly didn't cover last time. But I will include that video, link to the video, and if you're interested in watching that, it'll tell you a lot of the stuff that was installed. Used to put a terminal up in the right corner of the screen as a chalkboard, basically. I would copy or I would put notes in that about categories or programs that I was looking at, and it's real extensive. So if you want to look at that, that'll tell you a lot of the stuff that's enabled here. I didn't even look to see if SSH was enabled by default. Let's open that back up. Oh, it uses systemd, so it should use systemctl. Start. Get a minute. Sort of prefer VirtualBox. Password, log in. Oh, yeah, it did remember. Oh, it didn't remember my resolution. Bring up console. Sudo system TL for control status. SSH, that might be D. SSHD. Not installed. You'd have to install that if SSH is in it. Logging into the computer using secure shell is important. You'll need to install that program as well as enable the program, or at least start it when you're using it. Yeah. The volume. Yeah, I hear it. Okay, so we got volume. Well, even though it's a virtual box, we still got volume. All right, so let's shut her on down again. Back to front view here. And that's it. That's Diamond Linux TT. Now, true, it is installed in a VirtualBox Work Manager, but it's going to be a lot of, you will get the same software, but the performance may actually increase on real hardware. And so that's going to do it for this video. I appreciate you guys watching. Y'all have a great day. Peace out. Bye.